Hey there YouTube, welcome back to another kind of black panel update. After I made my last video, I said that I'm getting really low on Napoleonic supplies, and really the only thing I had left to do was my SwordWright, the SwordWright set, which I picked up from Eureka Minatures. So I've basically spent the last couple of days just doing those. So I thought I'd give you a look. So first of all I'm going to show you the SwordWright set, because obviously this set is kind of split in two, because there's the SwordWright, and then there's the two girls called the Duelists, which are sort of pillow fighting. So I kind of did those separate. So let's show you these guys first. So again, I wanted to go for a military look to these guys, so I basically did them in sort of a military uniform, and again I sort of borrowed the idea of putting a sort of a sergeant's rank on the swordsmith's hat, rather than obviously because there's no other place really to put it. So I thought, yeah, well he's like, you probably wouldn't get an officer doing the swordsmithing, you know, he'd be more on the sort of the admin side. So you know, sort of an NCO could be the sort of swordsmith, and then obviously he's got an assistant helping. I presume this is like a whetstone, because if you look at it carefully, there's like a sort of a trough down the bottom. But I'll get to that in a minute. I'll show you this guy on this sort of. It's still kind of a mystery to me what actual piece of equipment this guy's operating, but it's obviously some kind of I don't know. I really don't know what it is. I mean, obviously it's controlled by his feet, but I presume you push down on that, and then it perhaps moves this part here, and then if that's like a sort of a sharpening tool of some sort, perhaps you can kind of shave things down with it. So you got this guy sort of shaving down. I haven't really even identified what he's holding, but I presumed it's like either a piece of leather or a piece of metal or a piece of wood. I've actually painted it up as a piece of metal, so perhaps he's like sort of grinding it down to get the shape. Perhaps he's making like a sword guard or something, and he's already forged it out and he's just like grinding it down. Perhaps this is like the sort of the metal equivalent of a sort of I suppose kind of like a heavy plane or something. I don't know, but yeah, I think he turned out okay. It's a pretty basic figure, pretty basic piece of machinery, just wood. But you can see I've given him like a leather apron, because unlike the bakers, they've got no need for like a white apron really. So I've given him like a heavy kind of blacksmithy type apron. But yeah, I think he turned out okay. Just a pretty basic. Done in my all done in the same sort of basing style. And next up we have the actual SwordWright himself. And like I said, I think this thing is like some sort of whetstone, because the mechanism is kind of in the ground by the looks of it. And I guess he's just pushing it back and forth, and it somehow like rotates the wheel. And you can see the trough there. I haven't actually bothered like trying to make out as if there's water in there, but I was quite happy with the way that the actual stone wheel came out. I thought it came out pretty cool. Kind of looks like a whetstone. And then of course for uniforms, again we've got the basic sort of undressed, dressed down trooper. Literally just missing his blue jacket and a pair of gaiters and his strapping and backpack and musket. And of course here we have the actual swordsmith himself, rank of sergeant, and he's got one of those heavy leather aprons on. This guy would be like the master of the forge, I presume, if he's a blacksmith. Obviously this guy's obviously specialist in swords. But yeah, he's just kind of sharpening up perhaps a Cressier's sword or something. It kind of looks like a bit like a heavy saber, or maybe just an officer's sword. But yeah, again, pretty simple set. They weren't really that complicated to paint. I literally painted these guys in a couple of days, and not even full painting sessions. I think there's like one full painting session and maybe 30 minutes of another, which is basically just, you know, cleaning them off, sticking them to bases, undercoating them, just putting on the base colours, and then the next day finishing them off, varnishing them, and thinking about how I want to base them, and then basing them, and then literally I finished them off this morning by adding the grass and the rocks and the grass tufts and stuff, and obviously yesterday I did the actual sort of mud. It's meant to be sort of like it's meant to be not exactly dry, but at the same time not sort of sodden. So, you know, you can basically walk around in it pretty well. And obviously he's got a little bit of mud in the shoes just from the sort of the splash of the wet stone, making the area around the actual sharpening stone a little bit more muddy than the rest of the area. But yeah, again, very simple, but I think it turned out okay. Right, next up we'll go for the Duelists. Now I wanted to do something really special for these guys, so basically just bring them in, and I'll just zoom out a little bit so you can basically see that these guys are having their pillow fight in front of a somewhat broken down tree. It's not like dead, but it's been sort of like you know, it's had a lot of its either it's like perhaps it's misgrown, so it's not a particularly full tree, and they're basically just having their pillow fight in the meadow. So let me just bring you in a little bit closer. Again, I utilised my rose bush to get this particular sort of tree stump. I thought it came out quite cool, and I used some underbrush or overbrush to stick in the tree, and I think it came out okay. It's the first time I've ever tried something like this, really, and although it's not as full as I really would have liked, I mean, I suppose I could have like put wire in and made more branches and stuff, but that looks okay. I didn't want the tree to overshadow too much, and then they've got this kind of there's lots of moss around, and the tree has also got lots of moss growing in it, and then we've got all sorts of grass tufts and flowers and a few rocks, and then we've got the two dueling vignettes having a pillow fight. So we've got two different hussar regiments here represented by these two. Obviously the first one is actually from the 1st Hussars, and the second one in the sort of kind of blue-grey uniform. Now I've kind of semi-forgotten exactly which regiment these guys are, but I think they're either the 5th or the 7th Hussars, in this sort of really nice sort of blue-grey jacket, and it kind of reminded me of the film The Duelists, which is kind of why I chose it. But you can see that they're really nice figures. A lot of personality in their faces, nice sculpts. There's the one I've given. These guys had red trousers, or red breeches, so I gave her red ribbons holding her stockings up. And then this one obviously hasn't got any stockings on, and obviously she's got the Hussar's jacket on. And like I say, I was really happy with how these guys turned out. Their faces are great. I really do like these figures. I was really kind of up in the air of what to do with them. I really want to give them justice, and all sorts of ideas crossed my mind. And in the end, I thought, well, you know, they're not really. It's more of a display piece than anything. You can't really even just have it in the background on the table, like you can some of the other sort of vignette type things that I've done. So when I sort of came up with this idea, I thought, well, you know, I can use a bigger stand. I'll try and find something. I want to put some sort of tray or something onto the base, because I don't want them just sitting in the middle of a field with nothing around them, sort of thing. And that's how they turned out, and I'm actually really happy with it, to tell the truth. Yeah, I really think they came out pretty cool. Anyway, that is the end of this little update video. Like I say, I'm now going to start thinking about what I'm going to do next. I think for the moment I'm not really going to do any sort of major projects. I'm probably going to concentrate on getting some more command figures, getting maybe some more artillery pieces, just to fill in a few little mistakes that I've made in my other divisions. And then there's a whole bunch of guest units, both British and French, that I'd really like to have a go at, and I'll have to do a little bit of experimentation and looking at the orders of battles and stuff. But for the British, it might well lead to perhaps another British division being started. But then, of course, I'll have to start looking around for a French. But that's my sort of rough plans for the moment. I'm not going to sort of start a major project. You know, I'm not going to start like the Prussians or the Austrians or the Russians or anything like that. Not at the moment, anyway. So that is the end. I think I've had a few more subscribers again, so thank you for subscribing. I've been watching all your videos. I'm actually, well, particularly last week, there was almost too many videos appearing for even me to catch up. So for me, I'm actually a little bit behind. Probably about 3 or 4, maybe even 5 videos behind. Which I'm sure is probably not quite as bad as some of you guys, but I will catch up over the next couple of days, and we'll be back on track again. So until next time, I'll catch you all later, and I'll just zoom in on these guys again just to give you one last look. So there we have the SwordWright, Duelists, and the whatever this guy is working on. I suppose I should have done some research and found out, but yeah, anyway, that's that. I'll catch you all next time. Bye bye.